How you doing tonight, Courtney?
Good, good. How you doing, my man?
Doing well, doing well.
Yeah,
So yeah, this past weekend, we saw UFC 259, huge event,
crazy.
big names, a lot happened.
Historic event.
Historic
Historic.
event.
Crazy event.
One of the things outside of the ring that stood out to a lot of fans was Dominic Cruz and his comments and his call out to a guy named Hans Molenkamp.
Ooh, a lot of people don't even know what Hans is, but I'm very familiar with that, with Hans Molenkamp,
All
for
right,
sure.
tell me about it. Who is Hans Molenkamp?
Um, Hans Molenkamp is he's a guy that's responsible for a lot of money behind this signature. Hans, he's the director of combat sports for Monster Energy. He signs a lot of the elite fighters for MMA. He signed actually MMA gyms. He's the host of a lot of the big time clients that Monster has that they fly into like a lot of the fights and stuff like that. So he's the host. He has a lot of side businesses that he does as well. He has a company called Triumph United, which they responsible for. They do a lot of Muay Thai like clothing and equipment. So he's an entrepreneur. Just an entrepreneur for sure.
Okay.
But he's a subcontractor under Monster, so he doesn't actually work for Monster.
Okay, gotcha. So he, as you said, is in charge of writing the checks and handling the sponsorships for these fighters. So how do you know Hans? Why don't you tell us about your story?
I used to work in the medical industry, and I quit to be a full-time combat sports photographer. I used to shoot at a local gym called Alliance MMA. Fell in love with combat photography, wanted to make that in my career. So I was at Alliance MMA all the time, just trying to learn the different trade of the camera, just get proficient at photography. And there's a lot of superstar fighters at Alliance MMA, like Dominic Cruz's, Phil Davis's, the Jessica Penny, Jeremy Stevens. It was like that's littered with amazing fighters. It was the hot spot, and a lot of these fighters were sponsored by Monster, and so Hans Molenkamp used to come on there a lot, doing the same antics that he does, what Dominic Cruz exposed him for, taking these crazy videos and just trying to get clout from these fighters. But anyways, he's seen my photos and he fell in love with my photos, and all of a sudden he just wanted me to be on the Monster squad, and which I'm grateful for because it was a opportunity at the time. It was a lifetime opportunity, and it was amazing. So I quit my job and started traveling the world, shooting all these elite fighters, man. It was amazing, bro. Everything from the Conor McGregors, the John Joneses. I mean, it was a blessing for sure.
And so you were following Hans around as he was mingling with the fighters and handling business and doing other things. So as we mentioned, he was helping with like the sponsorships, subcontracted under Monster.
Right.
Why are sponsor checks such a big deal? Don't some casual fans may not understand how fighters get paid.
Yeah. So the thing is, though, as a fighter, to make real good money, you got to be like at top 3%. You got to be like I said, the John Joneses or the Conor McGregors to make like crazy money. So the way it's broke down is like, let's say you make 100,000 per fight. Half of that's gonna go to your manager, then taxes and all that stuff, your crew, your the camp, everything. So at the end of the day, you're probably making about 50 grand. So when Hans sponsored these fighters, it gives them a baseline. So most of these fighters are making like $7,000, $5,000, $10,000 a month off Monster. So it gives them a baseline of funds that they can live on. You don't have to worry about money, so they can actually go and train and focus on their craft. So, sponsoring these fighters and giving these fighters money, you're helping them out. And if they get rid of that program, a lot of these people go homeless. I'm trying to tell you, like Monster is they're helping people for sure. So that's the whole breakdown of why that sponsorship is so important, for sure.
So with these sponsorships, does he have a lot of supporters who, view him as, like a good guy trying to help out, trying to make the lives of these fighters a little bit easier as they're climbing the ranks?
Right. So he has supporters, but you got to understand like the way he's marketing himself. So what he does is he he will go to, like online, if you look at his social media page or Instagram page, it seems like he's like the cool guy, he's the fun guy, he's around all these elite fighters, he's a cool guy. But behind the scenes, these guys are forced to interact with him. They're forced to, do all the antics, get the monster hand, the monster can get kicked out of their hand and do all this stupid stuff, these crazy funny videos. They're forced to do that. But if they don't do that, then what will happen is they'll lose their contract. They're pretty much held hostage. And that was the same thing with me. Like, I had to do what he told me to do. I had to cater to all his side businesses. I had to do everything he told me to do. If not, I lose my job with Monster. And at the time, I was making a lot of money on a Monster, so for a photographer, making the amount of money I was making, it was like unheard of. So, and I built my lifestyle on that, on that income I was making. So for him to it's like if you didn't make Hans happy, then he can cancel. And they're like, how am I make money? So he has a lot of supporters. Like I was saying, get back on track. So a lot of people like him because of the way he's marketing himself online, on social media. But like I said, it's not reality.
So in regards to him controlling these contracts and, as you mentioned, forcing fighters to do what he wants, how did you factor into that? Like, what did you see? Because Dominic Cruz, made some serious allegations,
right,
that you touched on earlier.
Right.
So can you describe like some of the strategies he uses to force big name fighters to do things they don't want to do?
Well, you got to understand what he's doing. It's not Monster, it's Hans Molenkamp. So what he's doing is he's forcing these fighters to do antics. Like, I witness it all the time. Like, every fighter that you see under the roster, they're forced to spar with him, act like he's beating them up, do mitts. They're forced to do that. So it can be BJJ, somebody the best in the world at whatever they do, and he's forcing you to act like he's tapping you out, act like he has a black belt. All that, bro, everything you see is all a facade. Everything is fake. Everything. I'm talking about, like, he will douse himself with water before he do mitts with fighters for his social media content, like make a video for social media. So he'll act like he's put water all over him and act like he's sweating. Then he'll go do mitts with a high-ranking UFC fighter and act like he's beating them up or something, or whatever it is. But for me, like I said, I've witnessed it all the time. You know what I mean? And he's not really doing it for Monster. He's doing it to boost his clout, to boost his Instagram followers, to market himself. And I don't understand it. Like, they're forced to do it. If they're not, like I said, if they don't do it, then they'll lose their contract.
And did you have to film these antics, or did you have to just watch them?
See, the thing is, so like I said in the beginning, when I started working for Monster, I was shooting, their fights. I was going to the different camps for these fighters. Then it started kind of progressed to something else. Then I became like Hans, like personal Instagram content, content guy, his videographer. So I know you guys probably seen like Dana White's, his little rant on Hans. It's like, he said something like in the mention, he's like, you got people following you around, taking pictures and videos of you, act like you're somebody you're really not. I was that guy. That was my job. So I quit my career to shoot the best in the world. All of a sudden, I'm shooting Hans all day. So I'm getting paid by Monster, but I'm not really doing Monster work that I was hired for. I'm creating content for Hans. So that's ultimately one of the reasons why I quit, other than the way he treated me, you know what I mean? So
how did he treat you?
So what happened was, like he treats all the other fighters, he talked to him like, he acts like you're in shit, like you're nothing, excuse my language, but he would treat you like you're nothing. So the way he talked to me in public, around other fighters, other people, it was like he was talking to me like I was a kid. So for example, I'll give you a quick example why I quit. Like what the last straw was for me was, I was at my nephew's football game. Then Hans called me that day when I was at my nephew's football game, and he said, okay, I need you to come to LA today. This is on a Saturday. No prior, like, hey man, tomorrow we're going to LA, nothing. It was like, when he calls, you got to stop everything you're doing. Even these fighters, when he calls, You stop everything you're doing. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care if you're at your wedding. You got to stop what you're doing and you got to attend to Hans. So for example, like I was saying, he called me when I was at my nephew's game. He told me to come to LA because he was going to LA. And I told him I couldn't. I was like, man, I'm at my nephew's game. He told me, when I tell you to do something, you do it. I'm a 36-year-old man. I'm a 36. When I tell you to do something, you do it. I was like, well, you know what, Hans? You got to find somebody that you can talk to like that. You can't, I had it up. That was it. That was like my straw. So I quit. And what happened was when I quit Monster, he told all the other fighters, he's like, all right, if you do business with Courtney, so other UFC fighters and other gyms, owners of the gyms, everything. He told the whole industry, if you do business with Courtney, then you lose your contract. So ultimately, I couldn't work in MMA anymore. I was blackballed. So since I was blackballed, I darn near went homeless. And that's the truth. I went homeless. I couldn't make money in the sport, in the field that I built my career on. I built my career on MMA photography, and I couldn't make any money, so I went homeless. But I was blessed enough to save some money on the side to open up my studio, and it took me 2 years to get this thing going, so I had to sleep on the floor until I get the studio up. So it is what it is, but I'm just trying to show you guys an example of what the power and what he does to all these fighters. When Hans tell you to do something, you got to do it. So that's why you see Dominic Cruz. It's not like he's coming out and is saying, he's upset. That man is kept hostage, man. He's hostage. He has to do what that guy tells him to do.
So, as you mentioned, Dominic Cruz and Dana White, have there been other fighters that have expressed concerns, frustrations, and
absolutely, man,
gone to you,
yes,
to maybe Monster or other fighters? Is there,
bro? Let me tell you, and it's crazy because people don't understand this. The casual fan don't understand this, but the truth is, 99.9999% of the people are in this industry. They know what's going on. All the blogs, all the people who are on TV shows, or 99.9% of them, they know what Hans is doing. They know what's going on. They know how he controls everything. But like I said before, these people are making so much money and they need this money. They can't speak out. They can't say anything. They're forced to be quiet. And I will go even a step further. Like, all these allegations came out with Dominic Cruz and everything like that. Now I will guarantee you what's going to happen is he's going to contact everybody who's on the Monster roster or whoever's in connection with him, and he's going to force them to be like, okay, yeah, Hans does this. Hans is a good guy. Hans treats me really good. Watch, I'm trying to tell you guys, watch. You will start to see a lot of people are going to be like, oh yeah, Hans is a good guy. Hans is a good guy. This is not the first investigation. This lets you know. There's been multiple, 2 or 3 investigations, just like what's going on now. There's been multiple investigations on Hans Molenkamp with Monster, from fighters coming to Monster and saying that he's treating him this way. Dominic Cruz is just the first person to go public with it because he's been, he took that chance for everybody else. But as you would see, the main fighters, watch their demeanor on TV. They were like, oh, yeah, I don't know if it's true. I don't know about Hans if this is true, if he's really doing that. All these people in the industry knows. Everybody knows what Hans is doing. They know he has these fighters hostage. But you got to understand the dynamic of what the situation is. The situation is Monster is pumping millions and millions and millions of dollars into these organizations. It's giving the UFC millions. They're giving Bellator millions. These contracts are millions. I can't disclose how much money it is, but let me tell you, it's a lot of money. A lot of money. And like I said, not just the UFC and Bellator, you got Glory. So they're controlling the whole market. The whole market is controlled by one person, the director of Monster Energy for combat sports, Han Molenkamp. He managed that whole sector. So he has control of a whole industry plus the fighters. So essentially, these checks are so powerful, this money is so powerful, he has control over everybody. So he dictates what's going on in that industry by the money.
So, last question. With all this conflict of interest and obvious manipulation that has been alleged and witnessed by you and other fighters. In a metaphorical tweet, tell us why you're making this video.
The reason why I'm making this video is because I feel like these, like I'm saying, the fighters, they're held hostage. They can't do anything. They can't say it. And I will guarantee you even this. When this video drops, you'll get a lot of people coming. These fighters are gonna come and they're gonna come after me. And I'm trying to tell you, they have to come after me because he tells them to. He tells them he will write the social media post for them or he's gonna make them say all these crazy things to defame me or whatever it is. Oh, whatever he's gonna do. But the reason why I'm making this video, because I know they don't have a voice. There's nothing that can happen to me. But them, they can lose a lot. And like I was saying, even though people that come after me, I understand why they're coming after me. They have to. So like I'm saying, I'm just here because I know the truth behind what's really going on. And most people out there, it's a lot of gray area. They don't know the truth. I know the truth. I know what's going on. So I'm their voice. I want to be the person that tell the truth. I want to expose all this other than Dominic Cruz. But even then, I bet you money, he probably can't say anything else because he's part controlled by the UFC. Who knows? But I'm just saying, there's nobody controlling me. I'm just a regular guy. But I'm going to tell you the truth. That's what's going on. And the truth is, Hans has got these people under control. He has them hostage, and he's using them, extracting everything, their clout, all their hard work, and their fame to make his platform and his brand bigger and all his side businesses bigger. But it has nothing to do with Monster. Like, if you don't believe me, just do your own due diligence. Just do your own due diligence. That's what it is.
Thank you for your time, Courtney.
Hey, appreciate it.